folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lottie, this is Fish People Music, and this is my Crafter acoustic guitar, which long-term viewers of the channel will know that I recorded a sort of what it's like living with it after a year kind of review, sort of. I'll link to it up there somewhere. What's this video about? Well, it's about this guitar and the one area that it lets itself down, and that is it's entirely acoustic. It's a great guitar, I love playing it, and it sparks a lot of creativity, but I want it to be slightly easier to record with, even if it's just demos and such. I was thinking maybe I need a new acoustic, one with, one that's an electro-acoustic, under saddle pickup, that sort of thing. Or what if I made this one an electro-acoustic? And I thought, I wouldn't need to buy another guitar, and surely a pickup's cheaper than going guitar shopping. So that's kind of what I did. I got myself one of these. It's a... There we go, focused in on there. It's a Fishman preamp unit. This is the ISIS Plus, which I think they're called... Shush! But yeah, it's... These were the sort of OEM preamp units that you'd find in things like Framouses and Tanglewoods. So it's a genuine Fishman, it's an OEM unit, and yeah, I'm going to put this in here. The kit also came with instructions and mounting stuff and battery box and output jack, so I'm jamming this up its bottom and this in the top, and hopefully not ruining my guitar in the process. I've got myself some templates, and I've got a workshop. So basically it's take the strings off, take out the sound hole cover, which I don't know if I've done a video about. If I haven't, it's 3D printed and sprayed silver Celtic knot sound hole cover. It just helps keep the volume down a little bit when playing with others, and does affect the tone a little bit, makes it slightly more boxy, but it looks cool and it's practical, so I like it. So yeah, plan is to take the strings off, give the neck a once over, maybe oil it up a bit, and then start hacking it with the power tools. Wish me luck. Okay, so here we are in the workshop. Off camera I masked out the areas and attached the templates, and that means that there's no going back now. So here we go with the first drill, and now it's gone through, there is literally no turning back. And yes, I did nearly drop the guitar. So the plan here is to drill a lot of holes inside the template area and then join them up later with a hacksaw blade. That seemed like the easiest way to go about it, and it seems to have worked. Once all the holes have been roughed out, it's time for some finer work with a rotary tool. I'm just using a simple sanding head and bringing everything in line with the lines on the template. It's a fairly simple shaped hole, so it doesn't take particularly long at all. And it's looking pretty decent, and the further I get into it, the less worried I am, because it looks like I should be able to do this. And then next, just to make sure that everything's going as well as I hope it is, I'll do a test fitting of the preamp, just slot it into the hole, and yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. Now that the preamp fits, it's time to repeat the process for the jack socket and battery box plate. Drilling the holes, cutting and rotary sanding is pretty much the same, but this template's got a little bit more of an intricate shape to it, so there's a little bit more work and a little bit more fettling to do. But by and large, it's actually much simpler than I was expecting. Okay, and with all that done, it's time to drill the final hole in the guitar. A 2.5mm opening at the top of the bridge. This is for the piezo pickup to fit through, and it is specified in the instructions about how far away from the final saddle it should be placed. Fortunately for me, the shim that's underneath the bridge was about the same depth as the pickup that's replacing it, so that means that I don't need to file any material off the bottom of the bridge itself. Now that we know that everything fits and that the holes are nice and clean and nothing's going to snag, it's time to do the final fitment of the preamp. Just these 4 screws here. I drilled the holes earlier off camera. I didn't think you need to see yet more hole drilling. And then it's time to feed the pickup through the bridge hole. Now on this system, the pickup's actually attached to the preamp from the factory, so the pickup actually has to be inserted from the rear. Yes. And then we install the battery and jack socket and just have to wire everything up. Fishman were thoughtful enough to make everything modular and solder free on this system, so it's just a case of finding the right connector for the right socket and plugging it in. There's no way to accidentally connect the jack socket to the battery input or vice versa. It just won't fit. It's a brilliant system, and it also means that should I need to replace any part, I don't need to get in there with a soldering iron. I can do it nice and quickly. But this seems robust and built well enough that I'm probably never going to need to do that. And now that everything's wired together, it's time for a quick function check. That's easy enough, just turn the tuner on. Green light's flashing, that means it's all good and everything works. So it's time to secure the wires inside to stop them rattling around. Again, in the kit, Fishman were thoughtful and included a small self-adhesive clip to put the wires in. I'm going to attach that just behind the bridge, and that should be good to go. And now that everything's working right and everything's been wired up, it's time to reinsert the sound hole cover and restring the guitar. And yes, I'm using super wussy size 9 acoustic strings because I like big bends and I'm weak. And also it's the same size I have on my electrics, so it just seems to feel right. It's also really hard to find ultralight acoustic guitar strings. I wish more manufacturers would make them. But these ones are actually really quite nice, and they don't cost too much, so that's all good. Anyway, once it's all strung up and I've given it a rough tuning, everything seems good, I will take it inside, let it warm up a little bit, and then it's time for a sound test, I guess. See you in a minute. Okay, so we're back inside. That was as scary as I was expecting, but not actually as tricky. So the guitar's all strung up. Foolish sound hole covers in place. Checked everything and it all works. Only downside, I think, is that you can actually turn the tuner on without a jack in to turn the system on, so you can actually unplug it but leave it sort of turned on in tuner mode. The green light does flash to tell you that it's in there, but it's still, I don't know. If that's the only issue, then there are no issues, I guess. So the only thing to do now is to give you an idea of what it sounds like. And I've listened to it a little bit already. It's warmer than I was expecting. This Fishman sounds great. I'm really actually quite happy. Even just the way it looks and everything, it's like almost OE+. I think I'm the only person with one of these crafters with a Fishman transducer in it. I'm really happy. So, yeah, I'll just give you an idea of what it sounds like in a second. But before I go, I just wanted to say thanks for watching the video. It's been a bit of a different one this time. And the usual stuff, if you like it, click the like button. If you want to subscribe, click the subscribe button. If you want to buy me more coffee to help propel me through foolish ideas like doing this, then there's a link for that. That's everything. Thanks for watching. I've really enjoyed this. I will see you soon. Ta-ta.